recently we shared a story involving the White House accidentally sending talking points that defended Donald Trump in the Ukraine call with the Ukrainian president, to Democrats. So Democrats weren't supposed to get those talking points. They did get those talking points. And then recently, Juan Williams was about to bring it up during a discussion about it on Fox. And just take a look at how the people around him reacted to it.
Accidentally, they didn't intend it, so I guess it was leaked. But I think, just listening here, I think, boy, those talking points, they've made the rounds, because the reality is...
Wait, what does that mean? Whoa. What does that mean? Are you saying that I got talking points wrong? No, you got to answer. You got to answer to the accusation.
Are you telling me I was told what to say?
No, I'm saying they're all around. But here's the problem.
You had a whole day to talk. You didn't have to. Let's get Katie in. At least she has something to say that's original.
Better than that.
Here we go. Asking a foreign government to investigate a political rival is illegal.
Oh.
It's illegal. Okay. It's a violation of the Constitution.
Did you get that from Media Matters, Juan?
And the Constitution.
Whoa! Are you claiming that we're puppets for the Trump administration? Is that what you're claiming? Are you claiming that we're not doing our jobs right? Are you claiming that we're not fair and balanced? Is that what you're claiming? Is that what you're claiming? I'm gonna do that now. Every time Cenk is calling me out on something, and I'm embarrassed, I'm just gonna interrupt you and pretend like I'm outraged.
My favorite part actually was, and first of all, I'm not sure that he's gesticulating that much. Gutfeld was more like leaning back, like. But my favorite part was when he's like. Yeah, see the lean back?
He doesn't like it.
Okay, yeah. No, my favorite part was when he said, unbelievable. Really? It's like literally the most believable thing there is, that Fox News is parroting Trump talking points. If you noticed, the reason why they lost it is a very subtle thing that Juan Williams said there in the beginning. When he said, you can tell the talking points are making their rounds if you listen here. Or that's why.
I didn't catch that.
Yes. And
Juan.
Yeah, he might have reversed it. You'll see it on the tape if you rewind. Listening here, I see that they're making the rounds with the talking points. So that's why Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld were like, right? And like, all right. Look, it's fair for Gutfeld and Waters to say, no, I am a conservative and I happen to believe what Trump believes. And so I'm defending him because I believe in him. But if they're pretending that they're unbiased, you don't believe that, do you? That's crazy talk.
Fox News, people on Fox News parrot Donald Trump talking points so much that when they deviate from that script just a little bit, Donald Trump goes on Twitter, I can't believe it. I don't know what's wrong with Fox News. I don't like Fox News. Maybe I need to go to Norway and find new hosts. He's just a clown. Like, come on.
Yeah, and he upbraids them and they get upset and stuff. So look, that's point one. Point two is you could have a certain political perspective, but if you are looking at it from just instead of a policy point of view, just a political point of view, this is my boy and I'm gonna defend him right or wrong, well, that's being partisan and that's taking talking points. So we've been, I would argue we've been really principled here, and I could make that argument, I think pretty persuasively. We challenged Obama from the left all the time. So we were disciplined in being principled progressives, right? Not in being partisan and being, well, Obama wants to drill in the Gulf. I think drilling in the Gulf is great. That's what Fox News would do. Oh, I've always been in favor of drilling in the Gulf. Drill away, baby, drill, right? No, we're like, that's a bad idea. We were right, he was wrong, right? When Obama did signature drone strikes, not knowing who they were killing, and then they wound up killing an American citizen, one on purpose, and then his son accidentally. That was quite a coincidence. We called him out on that. And we got a lot of heat from Democratic establishment and a lot of mainstream media who are like, oh yeah, what now, you just think that killing American citizens without due process is wrong? Yeah, I do. I don't care that Obama did it. I don't care that Eric Holder made up a new legal principle saying, due process doesn't necessarily mean going to the courts. Yes, it does, read the Constitution. Wow. So we're principled in that sense. We've called out Bernie Sanders on some of his positions, Elizabeth Warren on some of her positions, etc. Whereas Fox News, the reason you guys are seen as partisan hacks who do talking points is that when Trump clearly breaks the law, you don't even entertain the idea like, wow, that's interesting. I mean, it is illegal to ask for a foreign government to give you assistance. I wonder if he did that when he said, look into Joe Biden. I don't even know what the other side is, honestly. Like, all they do is try to differ. Oh yeah, but Joe Biden did something wrong and Hunter Biden did it wrong. Like, that's why we call it talking points, because that was literally the talking points that the Trump White House accidentally sent to Democrats, because they're idiots. And then you see Greg Gutfeld say it on Fox News, and it has no real, like, he doesn't address the issue. I don't know what his defense is,
right?
But he's being partisan, as almost to be fair, not every host on Fox News. We'll get to that in a second. But as 90% of the hosts on Fox News are saying, that's why we think you're partisan hacks who do talking points. Brett Baer, supposedly a straight news anchor, the other day, he's like, well, the president didn't ask the Ukrainian leader to investigate Joe Biden. He said, just look into it. Really? That's your straight news anchor?
Yeah.
Preposterous. So now that leads me to the other food fight going on Fox News, Tucker Carlson versus Shep Smith. This one's even more drama. So Shep Smith the other day has Judge Napolitano on. He's a legal expert. He's a very conservative legal expert. We've said this 1,000 times, we disagree with him on policy. But he came on and did his job, which is, yes, surprising on Fox News. See, gee, I wonder if the rest of Fox News is problematic when one person actually doing their job creates like a news story. So Napolitano said, look, it's a violation of the statute. You can't solicit a foreign country to help you in your political campaign. That's clearly what happened. I don't really even know anyone that's disputing that on the facts.
Right.
They keep saying, like the Trump talking points that were accidentally leaked, yeah, but it wasn't quid pro quo. But you don't need quid pro quo for that crime. So you're purposely doing distraction. Anyway, so credit to Napolitano, as we've said on numerous occasions here. Credit to Shep Smith for having him on. So then Tucker Carlson comes on. Ooh, he not happy about that.
Oh, tell me.
Yeah. So he has this guy, DiGenova, on. He was being considered for the Trump administration, one of the biggest hacks there is. It comes on all the time to defend Trump, no matter what. If Trump had kidnapped his DiGenova's kids, he'd be like, well, I mean, my kids had it coming. Really, they're brats. And so, I mean, there's literally in every time I've ever seen him, there isn't anything that he won't defend Trump on, okay? I mean, you're supposed to go raw dog with porn stars. You're supposed to, right? I mean, who would put on a condom, okay? I mean, when your wife's pregnant, what do? You go to porn stars, right? Etc. So anyway, he didn't actually make those arguments. I'm saying he would, given the opportunity. Has he defended him on the hush money? Of course. So it's close to being literal. Anyway, he's super mad at Napolitano for clearly stating the law. So DiGenova, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with his name, said the guy named Cenk Uygur. Anyway, calls Napolitano a fool. Okay.
Ooh, shots fired.
Totally. And then Smith comes back on his program and says DiGenova is quote partisan guest, and he decried the attacks on Napolitano as repugnant. Ooh. So that's what Shep Smith says.
Okay.
Then Tucker Carlson comes back on. I mean, we're down. This is like, oh, yo, guy, give me a tomato, throwing banana, whatever. This is an all-out food fight.
Yeah.
Okay, and Carlson, of course, takes it over the top. So he's like, repugnant. Well, he plays the clip and he's like, I see somebody repugnant there, but it isn't our guest. Whoa, drums, referring to Shep Smith, okay?
She's not repugnant, you're repugnant.
Well, no wonder you like Donald.
Bro.
Exactly. No wonder you like Donald Trump. Oh yeah, it's you, not me. Clever. So now let me read you some quotes here. Carlson says, apparently our daytime host who hosted Judge Napolitano was watching last night and was outraged by what you said and quite ironically called you partisan. Wait, why is that ironic? He was almost literally in the Trump administration. The reason he didn't make it is because he's a buffoon. And even Republican senators were like, no. Like, we'll stomach almost anything for Trump, but not this idiot, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're almost in the administration, that makes you fairly partisan. Anyways, then Carlson goes on to say, Not clear if that was you or me, but someone is repugnant, okay, he emphasizes. And then he continues, these are now getting into my favorite parts. Now, unlike maybe some dayside hosts, I'm not very partisan, says Tucker Carlson.
What?
The daytime hosts are partisan, but Tucker Carlson is not. Hold, is it a crime or not? Given everything that's happened in the last 24 hours, I want to throw it to you again. Was it a crime or not? He asked the hack. And he's like, no, Trump did everything right. You're supposed to break the law. That's why it's not illegal. Whatever he said, total nonsense. So back to the food fight, which is the only interesting part here. Like, the reason I'm not giving you DeGeno Nova's defense of Trump is you can see that anytime on Fox News. 98% of the time, it's horse crap. So now Carlson comes back and goes, it doesn't seem honest to me when a host, any host on any channel, including this one, pretends that the answer is obvious. That's not news, is it? That's opinion. So Tucker Carlson is not doing opinion. Shep Smith is doing opinion. And get a load of this, Napolitano is doing opinion by citing a statute.
Like by literally citing the law.
Yes, this is the statute that applies to this particular violation of the law.
Right.
And he's like, opinion. It's not an opinion. There's a law that says you cannot solicit any kind of donations, whether it's money or in kind, from a foreign country for your political campaign. Donald Trump is running against Joe Biden. We all saw it. Not only that, he admits it. He solicited an in-kind donation, which is, hey, can you investigate Joe Biden? Can you look into Joe Biden and his corruption charges from a foreign country? It's open and shut. He's like, that's like your opinion, man. Whereas my fact is he didn't do it.
You know what's incredible about these guys? Both Tucker Carlson and Ann Coulter, two individuals that we debated, right? When we get to debate them and we call out all the different things that Trump has done to their faces, their responses are very reasonable, very reasonable. I mean, I remember Ann Coulter agreeing with me on some of the things that I brought up regarding Donald Trump. Now with Tucker Carlson, same thing happened on that debate stage. But following those debates, it is interesting that Ann Coulter is willing to still call Donald Trump out on certain things that I disagree with her on. And Tucker Carlson goes back to Trump zealot.
Yeah, so look, to be fair to Tucker Carlson, because I can't help it, not because of any affinity to Tucker, but because that's what we do on this show. Tucker Carlson's actually very good on being against wars. And he's interestingly populist against big business. So as much as I think he's despicable on the issue of immigration, race, and I think these comments are comical, he's pretty good and important on those issues, arguably pulled back the military strike against Iran and beat John Bolton in convincing Donald Trump not to do it. So that's pretty gigantic. And I don't care what other progressives say, no, because he's so bad on race, etc. You shouldn't be honest and ever give him credit about anything. No, I don't agree to that. No, we're gonna be honest, and he deserves credit on those, and I give it to him. But when he makes arguments like this, he looks comical. So I'm gonna give you just two more here real quick to give you a sense of how absurd his worldview is on this issue. He said, why do we find ourselves in a situation where people aren't willing to admit their passions are guiding their news coverage?
That's hilarious.
But Tucker, I mean, at a bare minimum, you have to admit your passions drive your coverage. When you say like, hey, this little town in Pennsylvania is now majority Latino, would you want that in your town? That's your passion against immigrants driving your coverage. Because actually, yeah, we would. So that is not problematic to a lot of Americans having Latinos in their town. It obviously is to you. That's not a fact that you're stating. That's an opinion. Like, Latinos majority in your town. Well, who would want that? That's passion, your passion, and I think in a very wrong direction, driving your coverage. The fact that you don't acknowledge that is preposterous, right? And then he goes on to say, it makes people cynical when you, get a load of the irony here. I hope you're sitting, brace for impact, here we go. It makes people cynical when you dress up news coverage, when you dress up partisanship as news coverage and pretend that your angry political opinions are news. People tune out. You just described Fox News's business model. I mean, you have, at long last, dear sir, have you no sense of irony? Okay, How can you say that on Fox? That's the whole point of Fox News. In fact, like if you read the history of Fox News, Roger Ailes, and give him credit for being very smart about it, and for decades on end, before Fox News even started, there's memos of Ailes all the way back to when he worked for Richard Nixon saying, oh, we should infiltrate news, pretend we're news, and put out our agenda, because the problem with news right now is they're giving people facts.
Yep.
And that's not helping the Republican Party. So now I'm paraphrasing on the facts part, but you can read the memos for yourselves. And it's very clear that Ailes had an agenda to infiltrate news, pretend you're doing real news while you're doing Republican propaganda. That's exactly what Fox News is. And now that somebody's actually citing real laws and holding Trump accountable on 1 hour of Fox News, Tucker Carlson can't have it. All of a sudden that's partisan. And but my God, are we doing news around here? That seems like some people here have decided they're going to infiltrate news and give their opinions. Come on, man. Credit where credit is due and discredit where discredit is due. And it is more than due here. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.